Hello everyone, have you noticed? Suddenly everyone is talking about AI, right? One person says generative AI, another says LLM, somebody says rank, Agentic AI, MCP. And you are sitting there and thinking, man, are all these the same thing or what? Don't worry, by end of this video, we will clear the confusion. And the best part here is I will explain everything just using one simple restaurant example. So here is the plan. We will take one restaurant and we will stick with that for a whole video. Why I took restaurant example here? Because almost all of us have been to restaurant at least once, right? So you walk into the restaurant and you tell the waiter what you want, and waiter goes and tells the same to chef, and finally your food lands on your table. So this is a simple chain. Just remember this one chain, and every single AI term today is going to fit somewhere in it. So imagine you walk in to the restaurant and you say, brother, give me one masala dosa. Now look what's happening. The waiter understood you, he remembers the menu, and the chef decided how to make it and he prepared it. So everyone here was using their intelligence, right? So now just imagine. Replace all these people with machines. Replace all these people with machines. If machine can do tasks that normally need human intelligence, that is called artificial intelligence. That's why the definition here, the ability of a machine to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, that is called artificial intelligence, like understanding speech, recognizing faces, driving a car, playing chess, answering questions. These are a few examples. So now let's go further. So here is something that important to notice. So AI is the biggest category. So we have so many subcategories like traditional AI, generative AI, LLM, RAG, Agentic AI. All of these are living inside AI. So think of it is like one big building with the smaller rooms inside. Now we'll go one by one and we will understand what exactly it means. So now suppose this waiter, so you went to a restaurant, the waiter is very strict type, and you said coffee. He brings coffee. No thinking, no creativity, nothing extra. He just checking his rule book and he acted on it. Every single time it's the same. It sounds simple, right? Let's see exactly what's happening behind the scenes. So basically this is like a traditional AI. So input, so you give input and he checks the rules and you get the output. That means you say tea and you get tea. You say coffee, you get coffee. The same answer every single time. Honestly, this is everywhere. Like every time, if somebody also comes, like if they ask tea, he checks the rules book, so he brings the same tea. And if somebody asks coffee, he brings the coffee. That's it. Like it's the same answer every time if the input is same. So that's we'll understand a little more. If you consider the calculator, this is an example. If you consider calculator as an example, if you type 2 plus 2, you will get 4. If somebody types 2 plus 2, he also gets the same. So, and also like face and lag, spam filter, chess engine. So all look same. So that's why the machine behaves intelligently only because someone already programmed the rules. It never creates anything new. So understood? So if you give like 2 plus 2, you will get 4. If somebody gives 2 plus 2, he also gets 4. If you type tomorrow 2 plus 2, you will get same 4 as the answer. So here also it is performing some intelligence, right? It is doing some calculations and giving the answer. That means like it is performing some intelligence. So the machine behaves intelligently only because someone already programmed the rules. It never creates anything new. So it programmed in such a way that so that you are getting same answer always. That is the traditional AI. So these calculators, spam filter, face unlock, chess, these comes under traditional AI. Right? Now we'll go further. So okay, now change the situation a little. This time you tell the chef, man, I don't know what I want exactly. Just make something spicy, cheesy, and healthy. Notice here there is no fixed recipe here. So you haven't told like I want coffee or I want a tea. So you ask like I don't know what I want exactly, but just make something spicy, cheesy, and healthy. That is the statement you gave to the chef. So nobody told him what to cook. What to cook exactly? That means like what type of what recipe. So now chef actually has to think himself, and let's what he does. So what he does. So the chef mixed the ingredients on his own and made a completely new dish that never existed before. Nobody gave him the steps. He just created it. So that is called generative AI. So generative AI creates a brand new content. There were no predefined instructions for it to follow. So based on its training, it understood, and it spent some time to thinking, and it gave the brand new content. So that is the called generative AI. So there is no predefined programming like when you get this you have to do like that. So it has to think and it creates new. That's why generative AI. So let's say like you type something in ChatGPT, you get some text. Every time if you type same text, same input, next you will get some different. So answer like meaning looks same, but like the text, right? It's not exactly the same. And images creations, if you ask, like it creates the images, music, code, videos, and all those things. Now we are able to achieve using our AI, right? So that is called generative AI. So that's why like the difference is traditional AI follows rules, generative AI creates. So now you understood, right? What is the exact difference between traditional AI and generative AI? Traditional AI example, calculator. Generative AI example, our text to images creation using ChatGPT and other things. So now we'll go further. Now people usually say like ChatGPT answered my question, right? So when you type something, ChatGPT give answer. But technically speaking, that is not fully correct. ChatGPT is the restaurant. That's it. Just like application, ChatGPT is like a restaurant. Just like application, the front door. That's it. Inside there is a brain quietly working. That brain has name called LLM, large language model. You never directly talk to the chef. You never directly talk to the chef, right? You went inside restaurant and you talk to the waiter, and waiter goes to the chef and the chef prepares the answer. Exact same thing happening inside ChatGPT. So the ChatGPT is just an application like a front door. So inside there is a brain quietly working, that is called LLM, large language model. So you never directly talk to the like LLM. You talk to the or front door application, that is ChatGPT. So that's like large language model, the AI model that actually understands and generates human language. This is like the main brain of our AI. So that's called models, like large language models. So just keep this clear in your mind. The application is the restaurant, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you are using, that's a restaurant. The LLM is the chef. The LLM is the chef quietly working inside it, and one is the front door you walk through, and the other is actual brain doing all the hard work behind the scenes. So that is simple, like the LLM. So now this is exactly where most people get confused. So previously you already understood, right? So the LLM part. So now what we have understood, like traditional AI, generative AI, and the LLM, right? Now this is exactly where most people get confused. So let's go slow. You ask chef, brother, can you make the special biryani your restaurant launched yesterday? So you went to the restaurant and you asked chef, like, brother, can you make the special biryani your restaurant launched yesterday? But this chef was not there yesterday. He came new to this restaurant, and the chef says like, sorry, I don't remember that recipe. Makes sense, right? So because like he is new, he was not aware like what was the special biryani that launched yesterday by their restaurant. Maybe he was in vacation. He came only today. So many things changed in recent days, and he was not aware of those recipes and all the things. Makes sense, right? He says like, I don't remember that recipe. His memory got fixed long back. I mean, that means like during travel long back, he was not there for quite some time, and he went to vacation, so he was not aware. So it's old, like his brain is little old. He was not updated with the latest information. So What does smart chef do in this situation? What does smart chef do in this situation? Even though he was not there, he was not aware, so he has to think smartly. So in this situation, the chef asks someone to bring the receipt book. So to bring the receipt book, chef asks somebody to bring the receipt book, and he quietly reads all the latest information. That means like all the latest receipt, and then cooks the biryani fresh. So he cooked the biryani fresh. Now tell me, did he suddenly become more intelligent? No, right? He was not aware what was their like what was the special dish that yesterday launched by the restaurant. So he did he suddenly become more intelligent? No, no, right? He just looked up the fresh information before answering. So what is the smart step? That's why like he looked the fresh information before he answering to the user or before he answering to you. So that exactly is called RAG does. Retrieve first, then generate. Simple logic but powerful. So retrieval augmented generation. Retrieve the information first and then generate the answer. So is like even though he was not aware of the latest information, but he retrieved the latest information. He read about that and then he gave the answer. That is called retrieval augmented generation, RAG. Because the companies change daily, like their documents change daily, right? Instead of training AI model every day, because like training AI model is become very big, I mean like very big task. So instead of training AI every day, RAG just tells it search the latest document before answering. That means he already trained with basic all the details, like let's say like chef already knows like his details, like his basic things, like how to prepare the things and all the things. But if you provide that documents, like if something changed recently, if you provide the documentation, he can read that, he can understand and he can prepare. That's why like no need to train every day and stuff. That's where like even companies also document change every day, right? So every time training the model is very difficult. We just place this RAG. That means like it reads documents before giving the answer. So read first, so retrieve information first and then generate the answer. That is the RAG. Very simple. Okay. Now here is the interesting one. Imagine you tell tell the restaurant, you went to the restaurant and you tell, this is another situation. You tell the restaurant manager, brother, I need to organize birthday party tomorrow. That is the one statement you told the manager. That's it. That's all you said to the manager. So right. So you didn't say book the tables, order the cake, do the decoration, invite guests, prepare food, and all those things. You didn't told to manager. You just said I need to organize a birthday party tomorrow. That's the only thing you told. So you just gave him one goal. That's it. Now watch. This is where the real difference between just answering and actually doing. Look at what the manager does. He understands your goal. Make the full plan. Assigns the work. Keeps the tracking of the progress. Double checks everything is done properly or not. Tables booked. Cake ordered. Decoration done. Guests invited. Food ready. The entire party is sorted. You didn't have to micromanage even one single step. Everything is done by manager. You just gave one single step. That is, brother, I need to organize birthday party tomorrow. That is the only one step you gave, right? But here you don't need to do any micromanagement and all the things. So everything is done by the manager. So that is the Agentic AI. It not only answer, it also completes the goal. That means he did all the things, all the steps. He monitored the progress and everything. He gave you the he planned and he completely arranged that and he completed the task. So that is the Agentic AI do. Agentic AI does not just answer the questions. It completes the goals by planning, assigning, and tracking work on its own. In ChatGPT, if you type normally, I want this information, you will just get the answer. But in Agentic AI, it will also perform those tasks. So if AI performs the tasks, then it is called Agentic AI. Let's say like if you go and ask, like I want to go to Delhi, please book a ticket. Then if you build any agent to do this task, like it goes and it search between your place to Delhi, what are the flights or what are the buses, and then it thinks which one is suitable on what day, and it analyzed and it planned and it booked a ticket and it gave to you. So you just asked one single question, it did all the tasks and it booked. That means like the agent that you created, it uses its intelligence and it did the task. So that is called agentic AI. Okay, now one last question. How exactly does this manager talk to everyone? That so how exactly this manager talks to everyone, because he did all the things, right? Like what he did, he booked the tables, ordered a cake that is maybe from different shop, and the decoration he done, invited guests and prepares food, like the chef, he has to coordinate with the chef and all the things, right? So he did all the things. So how exactly that manager talks to everyone? So the kitchen, billing, inventory, delivery boys, and the cake shop guy. Just imagine if every single department has a different phone number, different language, and different system altogether. Sounds exhausting, right? So exactly this kind of mess happens when AI tries to connect to different tools, each with their own setup. So now imagine everyone in the restaurant agrees, like let's all use one common system to talk each other. Suddenly the manager can talk to anybody using exact same standard, no separate translator needed. So the common standard in the AI world is called MCP, Model Context Protocol. It tells AI to connect GitHub, Gmail, Slack, database, files, Google Drive, anything without building a new connection. One single connection we make, and it will connect to all the things. You talk to that, like you if you talk something, that MCP decides like where like it's a common language kind of thing. So it can do that. It can do that particular. It can connect to that particular source, and it can talk to that. So that is where model context protocol is a common communication standard that lets AI connect to different tools the same way every time. Understood, right? So no need to connect, like if I want to connect to GitHub, I have to do some other configuration, all the things, and Gmail, some other, and all those things. Like we already configured in the MCP, and it will talk based on the situation. So MCP is not the intelligence; it's a bridge that lets AI to talk the outside world. Okay. Now here is the real world truth. These terms almost never work alone. They work as a team. Like they work as a team. Suppose the customer support AI agent. So let's suppose there is a customer support AI agent. It uses LLM to understand what you typed, and RAG to pull the past orders, like the recent past orders. Agentic AI to plan out the refund steps, and finally MCP to actually connect to the database and process it. So one team, four different roles. All these work together. So all these work together, then you will get good output. Understood, right? Like now, quick little test before we move. So a spam filter sorts your emails using fixed rules, so that traditional AI is correct, right? So in the traditional AI, like based on some keys, like in the Gmail or any other email, they apply those rules, and based on that rules, spam, like some mails, whatever the mails that you got in your email, some mails goes to the spam based on their predefined rules. So that is a traditional AI. So that is also called AI. So that is a traditional AI. Let's say uh, a chatbot writes you a poem on request. Like you want some poem, you asked, and that's creating something new. So that is called generative AI, because you just ask like some poem, and it thinks and it gave the one new poem, brand new poem. So that is the generative AI. Got it right? Good. You are already ahead of most people. So you are knows the difference between generative AI and traditional AI. Okay, now let's quickly go through the whole story one more time. AI is the biggest feel like umbrella. Traditional AI follows rules, just like the strict waiter concept that we talk. With a fixed rule book, he do the actions. That is the traditional AI. Generative AI creates like a chef inventing brand new dish. So it thinks and it gives the next answer. And the LLM and the LLM, that's the chef actual brain doing all the things inside the app. So now you understood, right? All these concepts. And the continuing, the RAG gives that brain fresh. That means with the latest information, updated knowledge by checking the receipt book before answering. So instead of replying with old memory. So that is the RAG. That's what RAG does here. And Agentic AI turns that brain into the actual work. So who completes the task? So Agentic AI turns that brain, like whatever the answer, into actual worker, like who completes the task, who completes the task. So that is called Agentic AI, just like our manager running the whole birthday event. And finally, MCP gives the worker one standard way to communicate with everything outside, like GitHub, Gmail, database. So whatever you name it, so it do that connection. So that is the MCP common connector. So that's it, friends. So one restaurant, 6 terms, zero confusion. So next time somebody drops words like LLM, RAG, Agentic AI in any conversation, you will know what exactly where each one fits. Okay, thanks for watching. If you really like the video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.